Welcome back to Tungal College online classes. Hello students, how are you all? In last class you learned resonance. The today's topic of chemical bonding is polarity of bond. In your previous classes you learned what is a covalent bond. The covalent bond is defined as the bond formed between any two atoms by sharing of electrons is called as a covalent bond. Covalent bond is mainly two types. One is a polar covalent bond and the second one is a non-polar covalent bond. Let us write there. The first one, polar covalent bond. The first one is polar covalent bond and the second one non-polar covalent bond. Now let us discuss one by one in detail. The first one is a polar covalent bond. So what is the polar covalent bond? The polar covalent bond formed between the two atoms having large electronegativity difference. Let us understand what is exact meaning of this statement by taking some examples. For understanding purpose, I am taking a HF molecule. HF molecule. In HF molecule, between the hydrogen and fluorine, one bond is present, one covalent bond is present. So this bond is made up of, already you know very well, it bond is made up of two electrons. I am labeling them. So there are two electrons present between the hydrogen and fluorine. There are two electrons present between the hydrogen and fluorine. Now the point is, fluorine is more electronegative element when compared to hydrogen. So fluorine is a more electronegative element. Electronegativity in the sense the tendency of an element which attract shared pair of electrons towards its nucleus. The tendency we are calling as electronegativity. So this fluorine is more electronegative element. As a result, this shared pair of electrons strongly attracted towards the fluorine. As a result, these electrons move towards the fluorine atom. Then resulting we have to take as a. Now look at this. This bond pair of electrons are very close to the fluorine and far away from the hydrogen. So these electrons are negatively charged. As a result, this fluorine get partially negative charge, hydrogen get partially positive charge. Now it is not a complete negative, not a complete, this is not complete positive. This is partial positive, partial negative, because this bonds is between the, these electrons between the hydrogen and fluorine. So these electrons not completely belongs to the fluorine atom. So just shared pair of electrons or bond pair of electrons moves towards the fluorine atom. As a result, it get a partially negative charge. This molecule has a positive pole and a negative pole. Positive pole and negative pole present in a single molecule. This molecule is a polar molecule. Polar molecule. This polar molecule has what is the bond? This bond is nothing but a covalent bond. So that this bond is called as a polar covalent bond. Now let us take one more example for better understanding. I am taking water molecule H2O. H2O. So between the oxygen and hydrogen there is a bond like this. Clear? Here is oxygen is more electronegative element, so it has partial negative, and hydrogen has partially positive charges upon them. So this is also a polar molecule. Water is a polar molecule. The bond between the oxygen and hydrogen in this water molecule is a covalent bond, and that this is polar covalent bond, and this molecule is a polar molecule. So by taking this we can write the sentence of polar covalent bond is the polar covalent bond is formed between the two atoms having large electronegativity difference. The polar covalent bond formed between two atoms having large electronegativity difference. large electronegativity. This is a polar covalent bond. Then coming to the non-polar covalent bond. In the case of non-polar covalent bond, the non-polar covalent bond formed between the two similar atoms having similar electronegativities. What is my point is, example I am taking a H2 molecule. I am taking H2 molecule. So between the two hydrogens there is a one bond. We know very well. So this bond I am labeling as 2 electrons. In this case both are similar atoms. These electrons cannot move towards this hydrogen, these electrons cannot move towards this hydrogen. These electrons are exactly located between the two nuclei of two hydrogen atoms. So there is no positive pole and a negative pole in this molecule. This molecule is a non-polar molecule. This molecule is non-polar molecule, and this bond is called as a non-polar covalent bond. Let us take one more example for better understanding. I am taking F2 molecule. So F2 molecule, we can write the bond as F bond F. This bond pair of electrons exactly located between the two fluorine atoms. So it is not very close to any fluorine atoms because both are similar atoms. So this bond, this molecule is a non-polar molecule. This molecule is non-polar molecule, and this bond is a non-polar covalent bond. So H2, F2, you can take some more examples, Cl2, or you can take O2, you can take N2. All these molecules are non-polar molecules. Now by taking this one, we can write that statement of non-polar covalent bond as the covalent bond formed between the non-polar covalent bond formed between two atoms, two similar atoms having similar electronegativities. The non-polar covalent bond formed between two similar atoms having similar electronegativity. So this is a polar covalent bond, and the another one is non-polar covalent bond. The polarity of a molecule represented by a dipole moment. The polarity of a molecule represented by a dipole moment. Next topic is dipole moment. The polarity of a molecule represented by a dipole moment. It is defined as the product of the magnitude of charge and the distance between the centers of positive and negative charges is called as a dipole moment. Now let us understand what is exact meaning of this statement by taking example. I am taking example of HF molecule. So fluorine has a partially negative charge in this molecule and hydrogen has a partially positive charge. So the magnitude of charge I am labeling as Q. The distance between the center of the positive charge and a negative charge, this distance I am labeling as R. By taking this, we can define the dipole moment as the product of the magnitude of charge and the distance between the centers of positive and negative charge R is called as a dipole moment. Let us write it. The product of magnitude of charge Q and distance between the centers of positive and negative charge. is called dipole moment. Is called dipole moment. It is denoted by the letter mu. The dipole moment is denoted by the letter mu. The mathematically the dipole moment expressed as a dipole moment. Dipole moment is equal to what we are taking, product of magnitude of what is charge. Charge we represent by q into distance between the centers of positive and negative charge. So distance of separation. So labeling as what? So this is the mathematical expression for a dipole moment. And the dipole moment expressed in debye units. It is expressed in debye units. Denoted the letter D. And the dipole moment is represented by the crossed arrow like this. The dipole moment is represented by crossed arrow. This is a crossed arrow, and the cross is on the positive and arrow is on the negative end. What is this sentence meaning is, I am taking this molecule again here, HF molecule, clear? This is the partially negative charge and this is the partially positive charge. So this is a crossed arrow. Crossed arrow. This crossed arrow, this cross is on the positive and we have to place a arrowhead is on the negative end like this. Like this we have to show dipole moment. So cross is on the positive end, arrowhead is on negative end. Next, same sentence you can write. A dipole moment represented by crossed arrow, put cross is on positive end, put cross on positive end, and arrowhead is on negative end. Arrowhead is on negative end. This is a dipole moment. The dipole moment is defined as the product of magnitude of charge and distance between the centers of positive and negative charges. Denoted by dipole moment is equal to, it is mathematical expression is dipole moment is equal to q into r. So this is a dipole moment. Now let us discuss some examples for a dipole moment. First example I am taking a water molecule. Example H2O. First we have to write the structure of a water molecule. Oxygen, this is the first hydrogen, this is the second hydrogen. We know very well that oxygen is more electronegative when compared to the hydrogen. So oxygen will get partially negative charge and hydrogen will get a partially positive charge upon it. Clear? Then we have to show the bond dipoles in this molecule. So the bond dipoles will be shown by using a crossed arrow. So crossed arrow, cross is on the positive and arrowhead is on the negative end. You can show it. So arrowhead is on the negative end, this is the cross is on the positive end for this bond. So for this case, cross is on the positive end, arrowhead is on the negative end. So this is a bond dipoles. Bond dipoles. This structure I am labeling as A. This bond dipole towards this direction and this bond dipole towards this direction. So both bond dipoles towards in same direction. So both are looking same direction. Then resultant dipole will be taken as H and this is the H, the resultant dipole moment will be towards this direction. So this is a resultant dipole moment. Resultant dipole moment, this structure I am labeling as B. So for this molecule, mu not equal to 0. So some molecules has a dipole moment is 0. So we are labeling as this molecule has some dipole moment. I am labeling it as not equal to 0. Let us take one more example. I am taking a BeCl2 molecule. Then first I am representing the bond dipoles. Beryllium at the center. This is the first chlorine. This is the second chlorine. Clear? Chlorine is more electronegative. This is will be taken as a partially negative charge. Automatically this will be taken as a partially positive charge. Then this is what? Partially positive charge. So this is partially negative charge. Now we have to show the bond dipoles. So cross is on the partially positive charge, arrowhead on the partial negative charge. Bond dipole this direction will be there. For this case, this is a positive charge, negative charge toward this direction. Next bond dipole will be shown by like this. So this is the partial positive charge, this is the partial negative charge. So this is the bond dipoles in this molecule. Bond dipoles, I am labeling this structure as A. Then we have to find out resultant dipole of this molecule is equal to 0 or not equal to 0. So here is the resultant dipole moment is not equal to 0, but in this case the bond dipole resultant dipole moment is equal to 0, because this bond dipole towards this direction, and this one is opposite to this one. Both are opposite to each other. This bond dipole is this direction, this bond dipole is this direction. Both are opposite to each other. Suppose I hold here, two persons hold me. One person is pulling the molecule, person pulling me towards this direction, another person pulling me towards this direction. So my resultant position will remains same. So both are equal in magnitude and opposite direction. So both are chlorine atoms only. Both are equal in magnitude and opposite direction is there. So that the resultant dipole moment for this molecule will be taken as 0. The resultant, this is a positive charge nucleus I am taking, and this resultant dipole moment of this negative charge, and this is the resultant dipole moment for this negative charge. Clear? The net dipole moment mu is equal to 0. The resultant dipole moment for this molecule is 0, because these two chlorines, this bond dipole moment is towards this direction, this bond dipole moment towards this direction. So both are opposite in direction. As a result, the dipole moment will be taken as 0. So this is example 2. Next example is CO2 molecule. CO2. First we have to draw the structure of CO2. C double bond O, double bond O. Clear? Then oxygen is more electronegative when compared to carbon. This is partial negative, this is partial positive, this is partial negative. Then we have to draw the bond dipoles of this C and O. Then we have to draw crossed arrow. So cross is on the partial and positive, and arrow is on the arrowhead is on the partial and negative. Then what is the movement of this bond? Which direction bond is moving? This direction. So bond is moving this direction. Clear? Coming to here. So like this, arrow towards negative, arrowhead towards partial and negative charge. Then bond movement towards which direction? This direction. Arrow is moving towards this direction. Then like this. Now if you look at the bond moments in this molecule, both are opposite to each other. When the bond moments are both are opposite to each other, then dipole moment is equal to 0 or not equal to 0? It is 0, because both bonds are bond dipoles are opposite to each other. Net dipole moment is 0. Then coming to the another example, I am taking a BF3 molecule. BF3 molecule. So boron at the center. Boron at the center. There are 3 fluorines. First, this is the second one, and this is the third one. Clear? Then we have to show the bond dipoles. Fluorine is a partially more electronegative when compared to the boron. So this is the partial negative charge and this is the partially positive charge. All fluorines are partially negative charges. So bond dipole like this. Isn't it? For this case, what is the bond dipole? This is a positive, this is what? Negative. The bond dipole like this. Clear? For this case, the bond dipole like this. So these are the bond dipoles of these molecules. What is the resultant dipole moment? Mu is equal to 0 or mu not equal to 0, we have to find out. For this molecule, these are the two bond dipoles. So these two bond dipoles are opposite to the third one. If we take these two bond dipoles, so these two bond dipoles are opposite to this one. If we take these two bond dipoles, so these two bond dipoles are opposite to third one. So two bond dipoles are opposite to third one. So the net dipole moment will be taken as mu is equal to 0. So this is net dipole moment of BF3 molecule is equal to 0. Next example is ammonia molecule and H3. First we have to write the structure of ammonia molecule. Nitrogen at the center. Then there are three hydrogens, NH, this is the second NH bond, this is the third NH bond, and one lone pair of electron present on the nitrogen. The shape of the molecule is pyramidal. Now we have to show the bond dipoles of each NH bond. Here nitrogen is more electronegative when compared to the hydrogen. So nitrogen has a partially negative charge, hydrogen has partially positive charge. So we have to show the bond dipole of this NH bond. Which direction? Like this, isn't it? So cross is on the partially positive end and head is on the partially negative end. Then for this case, this is the bond dipole. For this bond, this is the bond dipole. For third one, this is the bond dipole. Now here is the lone pair. For the lone pair, we have to consider orbital dipole. We have to consider orbital dipole. The orbital dipole due to lone pair like this direction. Now we have to find out what is the dipole moment of this molecule. These all three NH bond, this NH bond, this NH bond, this NH bond, the dipole moments are almost the same direction, right? Even the orbital dipole also is the same direction like 3 NH bond. What is my point is orbital dipole and bond dipoles of 3 NH bonds are all are in same direction like this. All are in same direction. Then dipole moment of this molecule is not equal to 0. This meaning is the ammonia molecule has some dipole moment. Next we will take another example NF3 molecule. NF3 molecule. So we have to compare dipole moment of ammonia and NF3. So first we have to write the structure of NF3 molecule. Nitrogen at the center and there are 3 fluorines. So this is the first fluorine and this is the second fluorine and this is the third fluorine. Clear? And even one lone pair of electron present on the nitrogen, isn't it? Now we have to find the electronegativities of nitrogen and fluorine. So nitrogen is less electronegative when compared to the fluorine. I mean fluorine is more electronegative than nitrogen. So this fluorine has a partial negative charge and nitrogen has a partially positive charge, isn't it? If you compare the electronegativities, fluorine is more electronegative when compared to nitrogen. Then the bond dipole we have to show like this. This is the bond dipole. Head towards the partially negative charge. Then for this case, this is the partially negative charge, partially positive charge, then we can show like this. For this case, the bond dipole like this. This is partially negative charge. And for orbital lone pair, we have to consider orbital dipole. We have to consider orbital dipole. The orbital dipole is in this direction. Now, if you look at this molecule, the bond dipole due to NF bonds. This is one NF bond, this is the second NF bond, this is the third NF bond. The bond dipole due to the NF bond is in this direction. And orbital dipole is in opposite to direction. So both are opposite to direction. Bond dipoles are opposite to the orbital dipole. But the magnitude will be different. As a result, this molecule net dipole moment not equal to 0. So there unequal will be there. Only one lone pair will be there. Here three bond dipoles is there. Here is only one lone pair is there. So this molecule has some dipole moment. The mu is not equal to 0. Now the point is we have to compare the dipole moments of NH3 molecule and NF3 molecule. We have to compare dipole moments of NH3 and NF3. So dipole moment of NH3 molecule is greater than dipole moment of NF3 molecule. What is the reason behind it? So why it is so? NH3 molecule dipole moment is greater than dipole moment of NF3 molecule. The reason is in NH3 molecule all bond dipoles and orbital dipoles are in same direction. Bond dipole, orbital dipole and all bond dipoles are in same direction towards like this. But in this case NF3 molecule orbital dipole towards one direction, all bond dipoles towards another direction. So both are opposite is there. As a result NF3 molecules has a less dipole moment. The value of NF3 molecule dipole moment is less than that of NH3 molecule. Next topic is Fasan rule. In your previous classes you learned covalent bond and ionic bond. The covalent bond is defined as the bond formed between any two atoms by sharing of electrons is called as a covalent bond. The main point is between the two atoms sharing of electrons is taking place. Now the ionic bond is defined as the electrostatic force of attraction between the two oppositely charged ions which are formed by the transfer of electrons is called as ionic bond. Clear? In the case of ionic bond the main point is between the two atoms there is a transfer of electrons. The main difference between the ionic bond and covalent bond is in the case of covalent bond sharing of electrons is take place between the two atoms. In the case of ionic bond between the two atoms transfer of electrons is taking place. Now the Fasan rule explains the ionic compound has some partial covalent character. The partial covalent character of ionic bond explained by the Fasan rule. Let us write the sentence. The partial covalent character of ionic bond is explained by Fasan rule. Is explained by Fasan rule. What is the meaning of this statement is ionic bond also has some covalent character. Even though the bond is ionic, it has some covalent character. The covalent character of ionic bond is explained by Fasan rule. So let us discuss the rules one by one. The first one, for a given cation, the covalent character of ionic bond increases with increasing the size of an ion. Let us write the sentence. For a given cation, the covalent character of ionic bond, the covalent character of ionic bond increases with increase in size of anion. Increases with increase in the size of anion. So let us take one example for better understanding. I am taking KF. I am taking KCl. Next I am taking KBr. Then I am taking KI. So KF, KCl, KBr, KI. So all the cases cations is same. This is K plus F minus. Here is K plus Cl minus, K plus Br minus, K plus Br minus, K plus I minus. All the cases cation, positive ion is common. K, in this case K and K. Cation is common. What is the difference they have? F minus, Cl minus, Br minus, I minus. They have different anion. So that for a given cation is common. For a given cation, the covalent character of ionic bond increases with increase in the size of anion. Then we have to compare fluorine size, chlorine size, bromine size and iodine size. So we have to compare the sizes of these ions. So first we can take fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So in a periodic table, while moving from top to bottom in this group, fluorine to iodine size from top to bottom for this case size is increases. From top to bottom, size is increases because of increasing the number of cells. So fluorine to iodine, size increases. See, the point is iodine is large size, isn't it? Iodine is large size. So fluorine is a small size. Fluorine is small size. So covalent character increases, covalent character of ionic bond increases with increase in the size of anion. So fluorine to iodine, anion size is going to get increases. Size increases, covalent character of this bond, ionic bond is going to get increases. Then this is the more covalent. And next this is the more covalent, and this is the next more covalent. So Kf is less covalent than Kbr, Kbr is less covalent than Kf is less covalent than KCl, KCl is less covalent than Kbr, Kbr is less covalent than Ki. Simply words, Ki is more covalent and Kf is less covalent. This is the rule number 1. Next one. For a given anion, previous case we took cation, now this case we are taking anion. For a given anion, the covalent character of ionic bond increases with decrease in size of cation. The decrease in size of cation. So for anion we are taking and size of covalent character of ionic bond increases with decreasing the size of cation. Let us take one more example for better understanding it. I am taking Kf, LiF I am taking first, then NaF, then we are taking lithium, sodium, potassium, Kf, potassium, rubidium, RbF. These are the compounds I took: LiF, NaF, Kf and RbF. What is the common here? Fluorine, Li plus F minus, Na plus F minus, K plus F minus, Rb plus F minus. Here anions are common, so that I wrote here is for a given anion. Anions are common, so that I wrote for a given anion. For a given anion, the covalent character of ionic bond increases with decrease in the size of cation. Now I am taking first one is what we have taken: lithium, then next we have is sodium, potassium, rubidium. Top to bottom size is going to get increases. Top to bottom size is increases. Which is the small size? Lithium is the small size, rubidium is the large size. So smaller the size, large is the covalent character. So which is the more covalent? For a given anion, covalent character of ionic bond increases with decreasing the size of the cation, which is a small size, that is more covalent. So LiF is small size and compared to NaF. Na is small size and compared to Kf. K is small size and compared to the rubidium. Then the order is LiF is greater than, NaF is greater than, Kf is greater than RbF. So here is Li plus is the small size, Li is the small size and compared to Na is small size and compared to K is small size and compared to rubidium, because top to bottom sizes are going to get increases. So Li is the small size, rubidium is the large size. Smaller the size, more is the covalent character, and large is the size, less is the covalent character for a given anion. So this is rule number 2. Next rule is the covalent character of ionic compounds increases with increase in the charge on cation. So let us write the sentence. The covalent character of ionic compound, ionic bond, simply the covalent character of ionic bond increases with increase in charge on a cation. So on the cation charge increases, covalent character of that compound is going to get increases. Let us understand by taking one example. I am taking SnCl to SnCl4. Now we have to compare which is more covalent. Then we have to find the charge on the cation. So this is Sn plus 2, here is Sn plus 4. Sn plus 2, here is Sn plus 4. Now check the which has the more charge. Sn plus 4 has more charge when compared to the Sn plus 2. Here is charge is more. Charge is increased from here to here. So when charge is increases here, here is more charge, then more is the covalent character. Then SnCl4 has more covalent character than the SnCl2. Charge on cation increases, covalent character of ionic bond is going to get increases. Covalent character of ionic bond increases with increase in charge on cation. This is point number 3. Another point. The covalent character of ionic bond is higher for the compounds cation with pseudo noble gas configuration than the cation with noble gas configuration. Let us write the sentence. The covalent character of ionic compound, the covalent character of ionic compound is higher for compounds, cation with higher for the compounds cation with pseudo noble gas. Cation with pseudo noble gas configuration. Cation with pseudo noble gas configuration is greater than cation with noble gas configuration. Noble gas configuration. So let us understand this concept by taking one example. CuCl I am taking NaCl. So we have to compare the covalent character of these two compounds. Now first we have to find out the electronic configuration of copper and we have to find the electronic configuration of sodium. So first I am taking electronic configuration of copper. Copper atomic number is what? 29. Its electronic configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1, 3d10. This is the electronic configuration of copper. 4s1, 3d10 last 4s1, 3d10. Then Cu plus, we have to remove one electron. Cu plus Cl minus, we have to remove one electron. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, we have to remove one electron. That electron we have to remove from the 4s because 4s is the last energy level. So 4s0, 3d10, 4s0, I am writing 4s0 at the end. Now look at this configuration at outermost level. This is the first shell, this is the second shell, this is the third shell. 3 shells is there. So number of electrons in the outermost shell, this is the last shell. After removing the electron from the 4s, the last shell we have is 3s2, 3p6, 3d10. The total number of electrons in this cell is 2 plus 6, 8, 8 plus 10, 18 electrons. Very very important point. In this outermost energy level, number of electrons is 18 electrons is there. The number of electrons is 18. Now this whenever the atom has 18 electrons in the outermost energy level, that configuration is called as a pseudo noble gas configuration. Pseudo noble gas in the sense, noble gas in the sense it must have 8 electrons in the outermost energy level. 8 electrons is there, that is noble gas. Pseudo noble gas in the sense they must have 18 electrons in the outermost energy level. That is the difference between the noble gas and the pseudo noble gas. So this copper plus has a pseudo noble gas configuration. It has 18 electrons in their outermost energy level. Clear this point. Now I am taking sodium. The sodium already we discussed. The sodium has the sodium plus sign we are taking here. Na plus I am writing here. So we are taking is Na plus. Na plus has electronic configuration of 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Actually we have to first take sodium. Sodium electronic configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. Isn't it? We have to remove this one electron. We have to remove this one electron. The remaining electron will become 1s2, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Last energy level, how many electrons is there? 8 electrons. 8 electrons is there, ns2, np6, 8 electrons is there, that is called as a noble gas configuration. Noble gas configuration, pseudo noble gas configuration, don't confuse here. Noble gas configuration has 8 electrons in the outermost energy level. Pseudo noble gas configuration in the sense, the outermost energy level, they must have 18 electrons. That is the difference between the pseudo noble gas configuration and noble gas. So now coming to the point, the covalent character of any compounds is higher for the compounds cation with pseudo noble gas configuration is greater than compounds with noble gas configuration. So this point meaning is CuCl has a more covalent character than NaCl. So because CuCl has, in the CuCl, cation is Cu plus, it has a pseudo noble gas configuration. In the case of cation, in the case of NaCl is Na plus, it has a noble gas configuration. This is rule number 4. So these are the Fasen rule. The Fasen rules explain the partial covalent character of ionic. The partial covalent character of ionic bond explained by the Fasen rule. Next class I will come out with another topic.